day and welcome to the virtual bar that is Old Talk United. In the house with me, we got the man Big Phil.
What's
We've
going on,
got
peoples?
CJ, and we have Alan in the house.
Yeah.
Normally we just started off with some music.
Hey, ring the alarm. Hey, whoa. Ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa. Hey, ring the
Starting it off with a little classic today. Because Tuesday is the first game, fellas.
Yep.
First game in the preseason, and you're looking
Sure.
forward to it.
Yep. My birthday and the first game of the preseason. Yeah, some more.
So, CJ, let me start off with you. What you want Manchester United to do for you on your birthday? Tell me what you're expecting to see.
I win, to be honest. I mean, I'm not gonna be that person who's gonna be like, I want us to destroy Rayo Vallecano. But it's a process, but I would like a win. Sorry.
Wait, who we playing on Tuesday is Liverpool? No?
Liverpool. Oh, Liverpool.
Yeah,
Liverpool at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. Oh well, to be honest, yeah. Do go for the win.
Don't think I that man. You want to come on your phone and say, watch it while I'm working.
Yeah.
They're showing it on the app?
Yeah, man, new TV.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean on
Yeah, because our preseason games isn't really
On the app.
regulated like how the league games are. So yeah, we'll watch it.
Alright, time to bring it 2 o'clock British Standard Time.
9 a.m. or what time? 9 a.m.
9 in the morning, all that. No,
9 in
Yeah,
the
9
morning.
in the morning.
I get up like I working to watch that
9
game,
in-
yes?
So we have Martin Phillip on the inside in the comments early. Martin, tell us where you're drinking today, boy. We asking all the people on the inside, what are they drinking today? So, and if you're not drinking anything as yet, go and join the virtual bar, make something to drink, and come on the inside and tell us where you're drinking.
But we drinking this. Well, I am drinking this here for now.
Where's the top? Where's the name on the top? Where's the brand of the rum punch?
Oxford.
Oxford. And it says a fairly new rum punch out of Barbados.
It's fairly new, so I was told, right? I haven't been
I
back
didn't know
home.
Tottenham had a drinking brand. I didn't know that.
You didn't know Tottenham had a what?
I didn't know Tottenham had a rum.
Tottenham? Oh,
You know that?
I'm on the wrong side, boy.
The Tottenham supporter that has always messaging the program not on today. Would that be a good day for him to be on? I'm sure he didn't know Tottenham had a rum neither.
Oxford.
So Big Phil, what were you looking forward to in that game, boy?
This versus Liverpool. When it comes to anything Man United versus Liverpool related, you always want your team to win, right? But it's more of a match just to shake off the rust. It's more of a match to
That's what first games are for, eh?
Yeah.
shake off the rust.
I mean-
youngsters get a little running, right?
I mean, even if you lose a preseason game, it's not necessarily the end of the world. It's just to get out of the system. It's to try.
It's just really unfortunate that Ten Hag's first official game as coach has to be against Liverpool, right? So
Yeah.
but it is what it is. Everything that has been implemented in training, obviously you won't see in the first game versus this Liverpool preseason team, right? But at the end of the day, maybe you get a slight glimpse of what to expect over the next 2 to 3 years, right? Just a slight glimpse. But youngsters are given the chance in preseason to prove why they want to be in the first team, and then obviously first team members shaking off rust, and then new signings like Terrell Malacia. Definitely we'll see what he can do, right? So that's what I expect. Whether the result goes in our favor or not doesn't really like hamper my day, right? So
Alan, before you weigh in, when Big Phil started off talking about preseason, games not really meaning that much, I'll never forget Van Gaal preseason. The man win all the games in his first, all the games, and we went into that season with such high expectations. And I think we lose the first game of the season.
Jesse
It
get
was,
injured and all too.
yeah, it was real sourness.
We
And
lost
I remember it
no
had
precedent.
that's the
it
same.
had
That's the
certain,
same preseason we beat Real Madrid and Barcelona.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's when Martial dribble through Real Madrid defense and Lingard tap in. Okay, I remember
And I
that.
remember having some preseasons where we lose against some poor sides and we finish real good. We had a real good season. You know what I mean? I don't know now.
I don't think this preseason gonna be anything about performance, why results wise I should say. It will just be more to see if these fellas and them could get to Ten Hag style, get in tune with it, and move the ball fast because they know what they're doing, in a sense, but he's still not impressed with the speed yet. Because you want them to do it like second nature as they always reporting. But
Well, that does always take
results
time.
ain't gonna really matter to me. You understand? Results is not really important.
I
That's why I
mean,
love bragging, right? If we beat Liverpool on tour. But then to Liverpool and coming with a strong team, the full team.
yeah, they
Some
gonna play
players,
like youths. They'll play like
Good
youths, and
afternoon, Mark Lewis in the building. Mark, we're drinking today. We're asking all the
Yeah,
all the people in the
why
comments.
Mark
We're
Lewis in the
drinking today.
bar? Liverpool have a chance to feature Darwin Nunez and um, obviously the youngsters from their academy as well too, right? So we'll see.
Well, I expect what interests me is his starting 11. Because at halftime, I expect there to be a full swap, right? That's normally how these games is go. So I would like to see who he considers at least some of his starters. What Mark walking strong today, boy. Mark is walking strong today.
yeah,
I will tell you what I don't expect. I don't expect to see Teles at all.
yeah,
But he's on tour, no?
Yes, he on the tour.
yeah, and so, but I don't expect him to see. You don't expect him to see real games.
your future, but not much.
Yeah,
I Teles is one person I expect to see out the door soon. And I'm really looking forward to see what Martial do for us up front. I know it's preseason and whatever, but I just want to see.
I was watching on the plane when they were showing the tour on Manu TV. Bruno was telling him how he back and he's scoring goals. He's scoring goals for us. He tell Bruno, I will score goals, but you had to assist me. You understand? You had to give me the assist. So he just looking like he just in and out. You ain't see any enthusiasm on his face and thing. Because certain clips that you might see of him, especially in training, he still didn't look like he totally on board yet.
You better get on board quick enough because I hearing a lot of talk about Balotti.
Yeah.
And you know how Martial has get when he had direct competition.
Mm-hmm.
So you better stake your claim early.
Man, they thought when Zlatan come in and take his whole number 9 from him, Yeah, that.
You said Balotti?
Yeah, you ain't hearing that talk about Balotti.
Yeah,
I hear Brian Brobby from Ajax.
I hear that talk too.
Nah, but Balotti.
There's the
Yeah,
Italian, right?
Martina free,
I didn't know he was available. There's Andrea Balotti.
But since last year,
Remember
they're
some
going
years
to
ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, we were interested. We were heavily linked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Boy,
were linked to
I don't
Bellotti.
know if I
The
don't know if you could
same,
lure I don't know if you
we
could
were
lure
linked to
Italians
Bellotti.
away from Italy, boy.
The same time we were linked to Bellotti was the same time we were linked to Pogba. And the season after, when we got Pogba, we were linked to Bellotti. So his name
And then
has,
we end up getting Zlatan last season. So
yeah.
Martin Phillip is asking if Harry is going to be there. Well, Harry already there.
Yep.
And I expect Harry to start the game. Let me tell you all something. It is a preseason game, and we don't have high expectations. But trust me, these players know that they have to go out there and do something good for the manager, because you could have a very short-lived United career at this point if you go out there and you're looking in a total mess. You know what I mean?
Man, yeah, they got put on the show for the fans in Thailand, and but let's be real. Our the majority of our fans come from the Asian market, right? So that's definitely where Thailand and China and what's not coming, right? So I mean, most of them will be upset because CR isn't there, but we still was able to sell out whatever stadium they're playing at in Bangkok, right? So
Yes,
I
it's
mean,
yeah,
let's be
Scotland.
real. If Manchester United come to town, you gotta go. You gotta buy a ticket and you gotta go.
oh yeah, for sure.
But surprising enough, the first few clippings of them when they introduced them to Thailand and thing. Yeah, no talk about Cristiano Ronaldo really, you know. They're more interested in seeing Donny, David De Gea and stuff, and Bruno more or less in the front line, you know. So I don't think they're really studying that Christina there, you know. Because they know it's a
I
new
think
regime.
I
So
think what probably is going on is that in a way the club, I'm not saying I don't want to give the club too much credit, but in a way we kind of moving on with proceedings because like we have a plan and we want to stick to the plan. I mean, yeah, you could be upset with the whole Ronaldo thing. I don't blame anybody for it, but things that did go on, we had a plan and we stick into the plan. And that's what I like. There's no reaction, there's no emotional reactionary approach to anything we've been doing so far.
experiencing down because Christina there.
Yeah.
Everybody's still
And
upbeat.
and until my transfers, we stick into our original transfer plans. So Sandro Martinez is next. Ericsson, they're trying to get the medical for Ericsson pushed so he could join them on the tour and he could be our official player. So for
Sound
me,
like you're still on for Anthony.
yeah, we still going for Anthony. So
Correct, yeah.
and plus
I think
two, Lissandro wants to push for the United move because he's pressuring Ajax. So nothing to worry about really.
but he sending the transfer request already, you know.
Yeah, he wanna go.
Because he was supposed to sign since yesterday.
No,
It's
But
more of
he's
a I want to leave Ajax, but it's who I play for in the Premier League, right? Because don't forget Arsenal still have submitted a bid, but it's lower than ours. So
Yeah, we matched. I think we matched the 50 and we put add-ons with the 50. So it's already on Ajax if they want to take it.
you know, I keep asking myself this question in my mind, right? When you watch Ten Hag, every interview, his aura of seriousness is there. Even if he answer a question kind of playfully and he smiles, there's an aura of seriousness. You all get that? Just let me know if
Yeah,
you all get that before I
Yeah.
continue.
yeah.
And I ask myself this question. This man clearly seems very focused on what he wants, what he expects from the team, what he expects from the players. We know he said on five rules. You know, he is zoned in on every aspect of the players, not just the football life, but the personal life. Because when you get a rule about no drinking alcohol, that don't just mean in the canteen, obviously. You're talking about when you're home as well and other things like that. And I ask myself, if this deal for Ronaldo drags, what if you Ten Hag would receive Ronaldo in the dressing room? I don't mean to the media. I don't mean to the media. I mean in the dressing room. Because I
Well,
don't know. I feel Ronaldo will get a real cold reception.
He could be respectable with it. But I see he's a no nonsense man. in actually no nonsense. And if you want to come to the party, come. Show me what you have. But I can't be pussyfooting right now because according to him, it's a total rebuild. You understand? And if you're not on board, well, brother, yeah, you had to deserve to enter the dressing room, because that's one of the things that he say, Nobody ain't bigger than the club, He had a mentality from Ajax. Nobody ain't bigger than the club. So if you feel you're not Champions League football and you don't want to take one for the team or fight for the team, well, brother, we're going to move on without you. Yeah, it's as simple as that to you. To be how big you want to be. You know business. You understand? And that is good. You
Greg B,
understand?
thanks for joining the party, man.
Yeah, my apologies for being late. I had a
Greg, be like you,
prior
like you looking like
engagement.
Ten Hag now, boy. You looking like a Caribbean Ten Hag, boy.
I'll take that as a
CJ, you're
compliment,
going to
Alan.
say something?
Thanks.
Yeah. That compliment, that compliment.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah.
And then you look for you.
No, not a hairline. I was always kind of bald. Let me be honest.
Oh gosh, you had to expose yourself, so I didn't expose you, brother.
Hey, you gotta be honest with yourself at times. Anyway, I
I,
interrupting production here. CJ, go ahead and make your point. I know coming in.
Oh, what was my point? Honestly, I think Ten Hag going to handle, and I think he or he's subconsciously because again, Ten Hag is an overthinker, and you think of overthinker. I'm not saying with one being myself as an overthinker because I'm not on that level, but with Ten Hag level of overthinking, I could kind of relate in that when you see something or somebody just not pushing in your plans, you don't have the mindset that you're kind of prepared for them to go. So it's not that he's going to try to make this grand gesture of begging Ronaldo to stay because Ten Hag is that guy who, in a sense, if you're not going to the plan, he's gonna be okay with sending you, but he's not gonna do it in a way where it's shameful or it's really toxic. He's gonna do it in that, okay, we could be adults about this. You could go and moving on because what happened with David Neres? What happened with David Neres at Ajax is that David Neres was really talented. He got called up to the squad, all kind of thing, to Brazil. But the problem was his discipline wasn't good. Now I'm not saying Ronaldo is the same. But it's an example of when Ronaldo sees that somebody really Ten Hag is not fitting any plan, he's gonna just be like, okay, well, I'm kind of prepared for this to go, but if they want to stay, we'll move accordingly. So it's really just we see where it goes so we can move on kind of thing. Ten Hag.
I hear that. I hear that. So, any of you all know about Leandro Paredes? Am I pronouncing his name right?
I
Paredes.
think it's Paredes. Paredes. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it is.
Paredes. All right. Leandro Paredes. I haven't seen much of him. I got up this morning. So we inquired, not made a bid, but we inquired. So I went and I tried to look for some YouTube videos on him. He looked like a fairly solid CDM. He's no De Jong. He's no deep lying midfield maestro, but he could get
He
stuck in, retrieve the ball, pass it out fairly quickly. So, anybody know anything about him more than that? Anybody ever
not
watch him
really.
for
I mean,
PSG?
I've taken in a couple of games in the French league that he's played a few times. Let's be honest, he's like the Argentine equivalent to Fred. So it's kind of like you don't need two of that in your team right now.
Man, see an Argentine Fred, yes? And we already have the Brazilian Fred, which is probably better than the
Exactly.
Argentine right now.
So no discredit to what he possibly brings to the team. But if we're trying to be a bit more progressive in the way that we carry the ball forward, we need someone that knows how to make a string at least a few good passes together. He's good for energy wise. He's good. He's a good at disruptive play. Just basically to say we're getting a third version of what both Scott and Fred do for United already. So I'm thinking it doesn't make any sense to have another body like that. Yes, we need midfield depth, but we need midfield depth in the sense that it helps us
We also need
better the
starting
team.
11 quality.
Well, that's another thing.
No, but you look
So
more combative in him. To me, he looked more combative.
Argentines tend to be a bit more aggressive, I realize, but
I saw
man,
I saw I saw a couple of games. I saw a couple of games for him in the Copa America. um, he wasn't too bad, right? I mean, he's a specialist at being a defensive midfielder. That's something that Scott and Fred aren't, right? So I mean, if that's the
fair point.
defensive midfielder that we're linked with, then I'll give him a chance, right? But I know there are better DMs out there and younger who we can get a good, let's say, 10 years out of, right? Because right now
Yeah,
Leandro, they're
it's,
28 or 29 right now,
yeah,
right?
28,
and
yeah.
and PSG won 35 million for him. I don't know if that's a good return on value.
Nah, I'd rather pay that 35 or 40 mil for Sangare, and
Right.
that's about it. But if
Yeah.
Parade is the time, he is a DM, and we've been begging for a DM for quite some time now, right? So will he go into the first 11? That's a question. That's a good question. That's a very, very good question. But
I mean, this is a guy who's not getting ahead of Verratti and Wijnaldum, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, Verratti's our boss.
it's
Kind of
Verratti,
hard
Well,
to
it's,
yeah,
get
it's Verratti, it's
Verratti.
Verratti, right? So I mean,
By rights.
If he was gaining ahead of Verratti, we should be looking to sign him up one time.
About 70
true.
million, you gotta pay.
Very true.
Not
Very true.
35, 70.
Another player I would have looked at as we're looking at probably like more ball progressive players. If he was younger and his injuries weren't an issue, Julian Draxler would have been a nice acquisition. But nah, at this point in his
Nah, he
career, I don't
also
think it's a
ran,
good
man.
idea right now.
He also ran, man. He's gone through.
Yeah, that was saying if it
You
was
know,
if he wasn't at the age, I think he's in his 30s now, but he still has a decent passing to his game. But I wouldn't take the chance on him now.
eight, eight
Them
and
fellas
six
them
years
like big
ago,
club. Them like to move from the bottom come up.
8 or 6 years ago, I really wanted us to get Draxler. The
Yeah.
first time I saw him was for Germany,
Yeah,
and then I saw him for PSG, and this guy just
he was
looked.
at Wolfsburg before, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Wolfsburg then Schalke. I think he went to Schalke after a
Yeah.
while.
And this guy just looks so good, so quick, so full of energy, so
Silky on
crossing
that
was
wing.
real good. Technique, well, you know how the Germans are when it comes to
Yeah,
technique. And I
efficient.
really wanted this guy at United. Didn't happen, and
For some reason, when you're a star at another club, and you go over to PSG, like some do well, like Zlatan did well, Mbappe did well, Neymar to some extent did well, but then like you had your um Draxlers and Pastore and maybe
yeah,
Angel
he was
Real
another
Madrid
disappointing
that,
one.
that were hyped up names, but
They
then
also,
when they went
they
to
also had
PSG,
Lucas Moura as well too.
yeah, that's when we wanted Lucas Moura as
Wanted him,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
These guys and them wasn't leaving PSG because they was on a high. Remember they winning
More,
everything.
more, more like high wages.
Yeah.
That
That's
Lucas
true.
Moura Lucas Moura was linked to so many clubs,
And
but he went
don't
to
forget the
PSG for the high
taxes and
wage.
don't forget the taxes in France are very low, right? So
Exactly. So they were still going to see a huge percentage of the money that they were making. I mean, you're talking about Zlatan in his first season was basically pocketing 12 million a year.
and he was the highest goal scorer as well too.
Yeah.
Actually, even Edison Cavani, he did well at PSG as well too.
Hell, the only people that would make more money than the players at PSG would be players going over the Chinese Super League. Ezekiel
Yeah.
Lavezzi was at least looking at least 5 million at the end of the season.
yeah, let's talk, and I call it figure Barcelona. Barcelona. Let me tell you
You see,
something.
see, see, see. Here's the thing with Barcelona, Chad. You think is that remember they had Messi basically budgeting a lot of their stuff. So with his sponsorship deals and his endorsements, it was covering the bulk of their expenses. He's gone now, and all those extra funds they was putting in behind the likes of Griezmann and Coutinho and Dembele and all these other guys that they bought, they're feeling the pinch for it now because look at where they are.
A lot of people don't realize that Lionel Messi has asked for 9 contracts in 12 years. Okay, remember that. And when he was at Barcelona, it's 9 contracts in 12 years.
Yeah, for all of those people who like to make it sound like Messi was so loyal. And Messi was regularly asking for contract renewals long before his contract even dreamed to finish.
I think CR had about 2 contract renewals at Real Madrid, either 2 or 3. But
It's all
Messi
about
9 and 12.
it's all about the Benjamins, baby. It's all about the Benjamins.
Well, you know, when you're winning World Cups or any international trophies, you gotta compensate somehow.
Hmm.
Man, he just win the Copa, and fucking ESPN gonna be dick riding him when he won the Copa and all that. Yo, boy, you see ESPN on Twitter? The man loves Lionel Messi, boy. The man
I hear
loves
them. I feel
Lionel Messi, boy.
whoever doing the technical stuff and writing the scripts for ESPN had to have some Argentinian in them, but
Or, but, or probably is a Barcelona fan.
them pushing that
Yep.
Messi agenda for about 8, 9 years now.
It's true.
And it's sad.
I've heard people even argue that Messi international career kind of better than Pele international career, and I just kind of shut it down immediately.
What?
Wait, whoa, what?
You heard people
Pele, they
argue
say
that point?
Pele is professional international
Not
career.
not like overall, but it look at like there was an argument a YouTuber had, and a lot of football YouTubers on Twitter would like to argue is that in terms of playing the game, Messi career was better than Pele's career, but they tend to forget.
How are you? Yeah, go ahead, CJ. Finish your point.
Yeah.
Finish your point.
So they tried to argue that there was no offside rule in Pele's time, when in fact the offside rule was way stricter in
Yes, it
Pele's time.
was.
It was way stricter. On top of that, they forget to mention that Santos were beating teams like AC Milan and Real Madrid easily. South American football was Champions League level football at that
Was
point.
Premier, yes, South American football
Yeah,
was the top
like
football.
as someone who watches the Brazilian league on and off for a consistent number of years, because Greg knows that I've known a lot of players like Arthur coming through the ranks,
Oh yeah.
and even before Barcelona, people forget that this is the low point of the Brazilian league in its era. The Brazilian league in Pele's heyday was great because Brazilians were not moving to Europe. Europe wasn't that destination it is now. So they were keeping all their players. And it's kind of why I like to argue that the Brazil team in terms of quality, it better, But that technical and chemistry they had back then, it was mainly because most of them played together, most of them lived around each other and was within the same
You
culture.
said,
Whereas
the Brazil team of now is better quality than back then?
not better quality, but there's like it's getting back to the point like the names are coming back that where every position was good because in 2011, in 2012, we didn't really have that much big names coming through in terms of youths because we were even ranked low under Dunga because Dunga was just holding back real quality. But the problem is
Dunga's style was a bit too defensive for a lot of the
it
players
was
that
too
they had.
defensive. That was the problem. But the problem is that the chemistry people complain that's not there anymore. Yeah, football changed, but you have to argue that the chemistry was better back then because everybody wasn't moving like how they're moving now. Like these youths getting taken up quite at 14, whereas in Brazil, you're getting to build your game. You're getting to build the Brazilian game. No,
Well, it's three players that I am
Mhm.
I'm disappointed in, boy, is Adriano,
Mhm.
because I had so much high hope for Adriano.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
then
Adriano.
he's just
and then
against.
I told myself that there would have been no other better Brazilian than the potential Adriano had. Then enters Alexander Pato, and I was like, holy shit, I want this guy to do something for Brazil. And then the third disappointment is Ganzo. I had
Who?
Oh wow.
Ganzo.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
Ganzo.
Ganzo.
I personally had
Yes.
Ganzo to be better than
Yeah,
Kaká,
yeah,
and I rate Kaká as one of the best Brazilians ever. And I had
Now
Ganzo
I
to be
can
better than
actually make
Kaká.
arguments for the first two. I can actually make arguments for the first two. Adriano's issue was basically the man
It
hit
was
a hard
mentality.
hit to depression after his father
Yeah.
died. So it's like
Yeah, his mentals wasn't the same.
some things, yeah, some things is just
I think
much harder to
Javier
recover from.
Zanetti. I think Javier Zanetti said that while at Inter Milan, there was no coming back for Adriano. Even as a senior player at Inter Milan at that time, the guy said that they talked to him, they gave him counsel, and there was just no coming back. So I was like,
Because
boy.
when he lost his father, it messed him up mentally. He wasn't in the same place that he was, and it sent him
And plus,
depression.
We have
It's
to
like
understand with some of them Brazilians, not cutting across here, Greg.
yeah, no,
They are very passionate when it comes to family.
of
You
exactly,
course,
understand?
Oh yeah,
exactly.
And once they lose a family member, there's always go in that state of depression. They
yeah,
take up
because
drinking and
And
whatnot.
as someone who's lost his father, and I can understand that kind of mindset, it kind of does to
Yeah.
you. You're not in the right headspace at that point in time. Unless you have the right people around you that kind of help pull you back. Because
And I think
And on
trust
top
me,
of it too,
The same thing
The
happened with
Catholic Church stressed
Ronaldinho
about
and
it a
all
lot,
too
right?
when he
So
lost his dad. You
yeah, he
exactly.
was.
understand? When he lost
Yeah,
his
he
dad,
kind of
was
wasn't the
thinking,
same when he lost his dad. Ronaldinho kind of
Yeah,
lost a little bit too. He
yeah.
lost a
he
lot,
said,
And with Pato now, Pato, I think it was just a case of I think it was injuries that
Injuries.
just kind of messed up his
yeah,
career
boy.
because he was one of
Injuries.
those players that I mean, this is a
yeah,
guy who
boy,
scored the fastest ever Champions League goal.
man.
Now you
You
you look at
sure?
someone like that. Yeah, from what I
Yeah,
understand, I think it was like
It wasn't
25
David.
seconds. I think
It
it was.
wasn't David the Dunker that scored the fastest Champions League goal against Madrid.
No, it was Pato against I think it was Barcelona. I think he scored in like 25 seconds.
yeah.
It's
As you
was
get,
it the Dunker, boy?
You
You
sure
could be
Dunker
right
scored in
though.
the Champions League?
I'm President Chad.
I know he's quick, but nah.
Not a
Well, anyway.
Dunker.
Me, I don't know.
oh Roy, oh no, it's Roy McKay.
Roy Mackay, right? Roy
Was
Mackay, right? Yeah, it's
Mackay.
Roy Mackay. My bad. 10 seconds. Roy Mackay, right? That's it. 10 seconds. Yeah.
well,
Okay,
25
I
seconds
must have
still good
forgot about.
though.
Yeah, I must have forgot
Yeah,
about that one.
Roy Mackay.
I used to like Pato
Yeah,
at Milan.
yeah. I think that was peak battle for us, a
I
lot of
tell
us,
people
because
the Mbappe that you're seeing right now is the Pato that we would have seen if Pato had stayed fit.
Yeah,
no,
but
but
those
you gotta
injuries.
understand too. I think when they looked at the psychology, not psychology, but what Brazilian players go through,
hmm
it's not really different from a lot of places in terms of
yeah,
Brazil, where they said that we have to remember these guys, not that they come from poverty, but it's abject poverty with a lot of them. I mean, people like to say it's a Brazilian thing, but it's not really a Brazilian thing all the time because people tend to forget that African players from abject poverty, Arab players from abject poverty, based on their culture, they have a
yeah.
lot of things that they go about. Like, I remember Adebayo talked about the pressures of being a player from Africa. Is that when you make it, your family demands a lot from you. Your family expects you to honor so many things. I remember guys like it's kind of why like when I even when I make jokes with Richarlison, I kind of understand why Richarlison enjoys his football and is what he is because when you hear the stories of most of these guys, they never expected to make it out there, especially when you look at the life of in the favelas of Brazil, in the poor poverty in Brazil. When you look at the background of it, it's
Football's
really
practically a way out for them. Football's practically a
yeah,
way out for them out of that. You know, that's how the gang life are around in the favelas.
Because right now,
yeah, and
Adriano living in the favelas being protected with like machine guns and all that shit right
yeah,
now.
like bro, and it's
Hey,
not,
well,
and on top of
he,
it,
he, he using only money he make from football for protection. What you do?
and on top of it too, it's kind
I
of
wanna
why I had to apologize. If I could look at Oscar, I could apologize for Oscar because we were all giving Oscar shit for going to China. But when you hear Oscar's reason for going to China, I
hmm
can't vex with it. He said he had a family. He said he kind of more or less did what he wanted to do with Chelsea. And he said that that money long term would take care of his family. And if he would like to go to Europe, he would. And I was like,
Add to,
yeah, that
add to
makes
that,
sense.
his father died early too, as well. It is age, so he did that to kind of help his parents out. So
Yeah, so you
there's
can't
valid
really,
reasoning behind a lot of these things, but what are you gonna do?
yeah,
Watch, I don't blame anybody who move simply for money.
Hmm.
The only people sometimes that does really make me scratch my head are those players who you believe the trajectory is so high
Mhm,
because, which is one of the reasons why I don't get players like Anthony Martial.
mhm.
I'm not talking about now when with the past 2 seasons that were very poor. I'm talking about when he was hitting levels, right?
Yeah,
Not world class, but he was hitting levels. Why you wouldn't build your personal, image? Why you wouldn't do more endorsements? Why you wouldn't do these things? Football is not just your salary. So people on a certain trajectory, they don't have to earn necessarily the biggest money on the field because there's a lot of money. You know how much money Beckham was making off the field
This
when he
boy,
was struggling to
that,
make it,
that,
get into a
that
Real
Pepsi
Madrid
deal,
side,
but that
you
Pepsi
know.
deal was different, you
Why?
know?
The only reason I kind of see where you're coming from, but I kind of going to say that It's David Beckham. David Beckham from a young age had the likes of Man United, had Man United and Real Madrid on his CV. Right? It doesn't get better than that. And then you're married to one of these Spice Girls. It doesn't get better than that.
Don't forget,
I mean,
don't forget you have
even
PSG
before
too.
he hits, I mean, even before he hit that stardom. I mean, locally in England, he was touted when he was a teenager. He won a competition under Sir Bobby Charlton that they had years ago that got him into the position to be able to sign for Manchester United. So it kind of looked like from a young age he was destined for greatness. So
And
Yeah,
plus,
the poster boy.
he's a pretty boy. And by pretty boy, I mean he could pull off any haircut, whether he had the ponytail, whether he had
The ball
bald
head.
head.
Bald head.
Yeah.
The girls still bloody well love the guy, man. My gosh.
I mean,
So
this is a man who rocked a mohawk, and Sir Alex made him take it off. He grew it back for the World Cup, and that was considered a staple apart from Ronaldo's haircut during the finals.
Personally, braids wasn't it though. I find
You all were
like,
talking
bro,
about
it can't the braids. I tell somebody the braids look like when you braid the Grinch fingers. You know, you hear on Grinch
Oh
fingers.
my
Like,
God.
you all were
Jay,
talking
disgusting.
about Brazil
I
just
thought,
now.
look,
And
I sorry.
I wanna touch on that Brazil. Looking at the present crop of Brazil players
Mhm.
to the past. And when I say past, I'm talking
Can't
about the
compare.
plastic past. I'm talking about like 80s, 90s Brazil teams.
can't compare. Can't compare.
Not all.
Before we jump into that though, let me just touch on Siraj's statement. Siraj is asking if we're not buying anybody and no improvement. Siraj, those songs so down, those songs so depressed, those songs so down.
I
Yeah,
mean,
what player?
we're literally in the negotiations with the other players right now. So it was like, come on, we just gotta get them deals
Siraj,
over the
I
line.
personally, I thought we were only going to sign 3 players. Right now, when you look at the players that the club is genuinely interested in, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the window we actually sign 5 or 6 players. And that is not, I wasn't expecting that. So right now, to me, the club is on in the direction to sign even more players than I thought we were going to sign.
But it's to get them 5 or 6 players integrated into the team as soon as
Yeah,
possible, right? So
that's going to be the challenge.
Yeah, I feel
But
we got some
I see you
surprise.
all. I see you all say is no comparison, and I'm glad because that's the way I look at it. When I look at Brazil now, when your top player is Neymar, and you have men like Fred in your midfield, and as good as Casemiro is, and Casemiro is very good. He's probably the best in that position. As good as Casemiro is, if he's your second star in a Brazilian team, not even a goal scorer, not even an assist creator, but the second big name for me after Neymar is Casemiro. Who
Well, I
else
think
bigger than Neymar and Casemiro in that team?
Thiago
I think
Silva.
I think Vinicius might have gone up a bit, yeah, a bit in that regard. No,
Yeah.
Oh, for me,
In my opinion, the
My
biggest
player
name,
Vinicius
the
right
biggest
now.
name for Brazil team, well, let's say 3 or 4 years ago wasn't Neymar. For me, it was Marcelo, right? So
Again, another defender. You understand what I'm saying? When you look at the present crop of Brazil players, it's like it's hard. I'm not a Brazil supporter, but I still used to get excited about watching Brazil football back in the day. You know, it kind of hard to get excited. So I don't know how people like CJ who are supporters of Brazil, how all they just feel
oh,
about this present team.
well, to be honest, it's something to do because in a way, we can't the Brazil we kind of excited because it's not to say that it's the greatest Brazil team we've seen.
well, yeah.
But I real sorry, we've kind of seen worse teams in this era. You know, like I'm not gonna lie to all you.
Yeah,
But
but
sometimes, huh?
I think people really don't relate to Brazilian football because we don't really watch the Brazilian league so much.
Yeah, and that
If
and
not
not
at
only
all.
that, and not only that, I think Brazil is going through this situation where when you compare it back then, when Neymar was coming up, the Brazil football wasn't really good, you know. Like
Nah.
No, I
right
tell you, you don't see these fellas and them unless they reach on the European stage, play with big
exactly.
teams.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
World Cup is more or less showcase all of the talent because
Exactly,
you see
because
some names on the Brazilian team we never hear about before. It's only
Exactly.
when they reach World Cup,
Exactly.
then you can
Agreed.
really say, hey, he's a good player.
I remember back then when the Brazil team starting 11 was from number 1 to number 11. I would never forget
Exactly.
that, boy.
Because people want to say, I remember someone was trying to argue, an Italian fella who, funny enough, he said, if Italy meets up Brazil, we're going to lose. And I messaged him months back, how you going to meet us up, though? You're not there. Okay. Okay. But I
Yikes!
had to put him in his place, and I was like, first thing first, we've been undefeated in big tournaments for 4 years so far, besides taking away the World Cup. TJ has created a team that in that our problem was that defensively we were very suspect. We weren't so suspect because even if you look at the final against Argentina, yes, it was a mishap, but we weren't defensively suspect like we were back then.
Yeah, but I think Fred got sent off in that final, right?
No, he
Huh?
didn't.
No, we didn't get enough.
But didn't Brazil go down to 10 men in that final?
No,
No, it was
Jesus
Gabriel
got-
Jesus. That was in the quarters, I
sent
think it
off.
was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I swore.
But he probably
That was
but he
that.
probably-
Remember, that was the time when you were saying Brazil with some cheats.
Yeah.
But in that same final, didn't Fred get a yellow card within the first 5 minutes or something like that?
No.
Nah.
That must be
Nah.
confusing, man, but continue, yeah.
Get sub, I think either halftime or early in the second half.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
around
yeah.
halftime. Yeah.
But
So he wasn't on the pitch, but it wasn't because
The
of
person
any
who was at
cards or
fault for the
anything.
goal, mean, he was Renan Lodi. Because he got
yeah,
caught
Lodi,
out in that position. Yeah.
Lodi, yeah. But the crazy part about it is the Brazil team from the World Cup, from the 7-1, it's been improving. I mean, a Copa America, after that we got you got the Copa America, unlike Argentina, who went literally 2 finals and bottled it.
Just
7-1
two?
at home.
Just
7-1 at home is a real low point. If you're
Yeah.
not improving from that point, I don't
And
know how you
that's
can
the
go
thing.
at it.
And we've consistently, I don't like to big it up, but I had to give it a bigger because it's youths involved. And we've consistently been involved in gold medal wins in the Olympics. And our stock of youths is actually really good. Like, it's not even an agent side like it was. Because, let me be very honest, fellas, that 2014 squad was probably the worst pick squad Brazil has ever seen. Like, I can't be real with
Brazil
you.
has a lot of up and coming talent, but for me personally, when it comes to up and coming talent in terms of depth for a country, France is number 1 for me.
Of course, France will always be I
My
think France
gosh.
is always going to be number 1 for that. But for me, I think Brazil could see something. The problem with Brazil is that it needs a balance in tactics that makes it competitive. So, for example, I told somebody for Brazil to make it, we would have to not see France at all.
It's not right
Honestly.
now, anyway.
Yeah, not right now. But like, if you tell me we dodged France and we made it to a final against Spain or even better yet, England, I will tell all it coming home in Portuguese.
Don't underestimate Spain, okay? Spain.
Bruh.
Don't underestimate Spain.
Bruh.
Hey, Phil, let's be real.
Bruh.
One of the days in the
I
nights when they had
underestimate
Bruh.
like Fernando Torres and David Villa, even Raul and Morientes. When you had
Spain-
those guys up
The only
front,
problem with Spain is Spain's front line. Other than that, Spain's midfield solid.
Dan,
Spain's
I don't
defense
want to
solid.
say no, but you see when men tell me be scared of Gavi, I was like, no, I don't want to overwork it to the point that when I meet him, I probably go and
Yeah,
Father,
Spain, like
just Gavi alone.
overworked himself.
There's overwork Pedri same way too.
yeah,
They
boy.
overwork
You'll
Pedri,
be,
boy. Oh
yeah,
my
boy. You'll
gosh.
be overworking Pedri, Dan. Like, what
I
the
watched a
hell?
picture of Pedri the other day. I swear the dude looks like a meth addict. I'm like, this man
When
burnt out.
Pedri played in that Euros, Pedri hadn't missed a game for Barcelona and hadn't missed a game for Spain. That's how overworked they had him.
And I feel that's
It's
not
like-
even good for his development.
It was like you remember the movie The Green Mile?
Yeah.
You remember Michael Clark Duncan? He's like, I'm tired, boss.
Fellas,
Tired, boy.
to end all the argument, it's coming home to a South American team. But is he blue and white?
Why you say that?
When last
Argentine alert. Argentine alert.
When last South American team win the World Cup?
2002.
That's a
What?
long
That's
time
20
ago.
years
And-
ago.
And I go and say it. I go and say it openly. Argentina had many chances to put away that 2014 final, and they damn well know Well, you very well know. what you're
Gonzalo
supposed to do.
Higuain.
There's Messi final
It
hurrah, man.
wasn't,
That
it wasn't
is
even
Messi
Higuain's fault.
considered the best.
Aguero had a chance. Di Maria had a chance. Messi skied a
Messi is
free
a
kick into
ball
Rossi.
rabbit.
Argentina has had some talent over the years, though. I have not.
And I think
brought
that
on
was
board.
probably one of
It's
Argentina's
a new
best teams
regime
that
now,
year.
man. Phil.
They can reach
They
this
call it
year.
a new
No problem.
regime
No
now.
problem.
All
You see
Messi
this
good
crop-
for is choking.
Nah. This new crop of players, they're different.
Messi,
Watching
I
them, they're
find-
very different.
I
Nobody
find-
really study Messi, you know. Messi is just the cherry on top, you know.
The talisman, yeah.
These fellas
Personally,
and them that
but-
coming up
Yeah.
different.
They need,
My
they,
old-
need to, they need to allow the likes of Martinez and Simeone and all these other
But you
players
know-
coming through opportunities to really shine for themselves.
No, but
But you
they're showing the way
I
from the
cannot-
last Copa America they had. Yes, Messi he scored plenty goals, he get most goals or whatever
For
it
once.
is, but they're
For
creating.
Also, too,
Creating.
Argentina, like a lot of other teams going through this, because when you look at it, you know how people be like, with this Portugal team, the Portugal team is supposed to be doing more because it has a crop of talent on top of Ronaldo, but sometimes when you watch them play, it's like they play for solely him. Because if you watch the Euros, the Portuguese team wasn't bad. I feel it's just that they really didn't know what to do, and their manager, who, God bless his soul,
He can't
But-
tell Christy nothing. Full
yeah,
stop.
and I think what
Why,
I got
why you think he couldn't? Why you think he couldn't tell him to sit down when he was on the touchline running and passing out orders like he was the assistant coach?
Because it's
But
Cristiano Ronaldo.
one team that does disappoint all the time is Belgium.
Belgium?
No.
Always.
I have to disagree.
Every
wholeheartedly.
single international tournament, every single international
Phil.
tournament, people say this is best.
I can-
This is Belgium's
Once
time.
they cut off
this
the
is
I can
Belgium's
do- I can do you one
time.
better.
Subsidize it for them. They're dead.
Phil, I see your Belgium, and I raise you the Netherlands.
Shit. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, Netherlands too. But it's the two teams that's always
No.
disappointed. It's England and Belgium.
Nah, in
The
recent
Netherlands
time,
are
Greg,
perennial
it's definitely been Belgium because I've been here, and this is the golden age
Golden age of
Belgian
players.
football for about
Yeah.
8 years now.
Correct.
Yeah,
8 years I hearing that the golden age of
But
Belgium.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Back then, Netherlands was like bottlers as well too, right? But when it comes to Belgium,
They
the
still
men
are.
just perennial.
I think what bothers me about Belgium is that I tell myself after Brazil lost to Belgium, I was like, yeah, it's their time. And I see next game, you not for real.
And then they faced
Not
France.
Not even.
You see, here was the problem that Belgium and Brazil have. Belgium does treat Hazard like he's the best player,
Yep.
When he's
which
not
is
actually.
which immediately sets you up for failure.
Yep.
De Bruyne is your best player, probably one of the best players in the entire world, not just on your team, but in the entire world.
Belgium got a whole heap of talent from the strikers to midfield. To
Exactly. And if they know what's good for them, drop Hazard.
And then
Drop
even Hazard's younger brother Thorgan is starting to oversee him.
Thorgood has been overtaken as a good year number of years.
A long time, yeah.
People don't even watch this man at Dortmund. I watch Dortmund. That boy is mad.
Thorgan Hazard.
For Netherlands, I don't think anybody have high expectations for Netherlands because
I did in 2010.
I mean within recent times because your top player is a United failure.
A rapper. And
You
a
understand?
rapper.
And if that is your top player, there's no Van Persie we talking about.
Memphis
Right?
Depay.
Memphis Depay.
There's Memphis Depay. If your top player is Memphis Depay,
Personally, I
I
would never
can't-
given him that number 10 shoes.
And you go and
if
take-
Netherlands make it out of the group and win the first elimination game, they had to consider it
Other
a
than
successful World Cup.
Memphis Depay, what other strikers Netherlands got though?
Wout Weghorst, who else again? Justin Kluivert when he
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
makes
yeah.
the team.
The American that team now what?
Steven
Right.
Bergwijn plays as off and on as a striker as well too.
to be fair, you don't expect anything from Memphis because this man think he a rapper and he thought he could have locked down Laurie Harvey. So,
Dude,
and
Michael B.
decision
Jordan,
making in there.
Michael B. Jordan gave me some worry.
was
Have you all
making
kind of
English
thing?
songs.
For Michael.
Man, a millionaire
I have-
rolling in a Rolls
I have
Royce.
I have no sympathy for Michael B. Jordan, boy. You can't turn a hoe to a housewife. Sorry,
Bruh.
sorry, Michael B.
You know, Martin Phillip make an interesting comment here. He said Belgium like the Spain before they won the World Cup. And it's true. Remember, for a long time, everybody was saying Spain, 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 and they were just getting knocked
Licks.
out.
Like,
And when they won, they went on a little roll.
so basically,
Belgium
Spain,
had
so basically,
team
Spain
that went over
revert
the
to
hump.
the false settings. Now, okay, no, Spain revert to the false settings
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, but when they
Until
go there,
Belgium
what
get over the
about
hump.
But Spain
Then you go learn your
before
skill to
they won the
survive.
World Cup. Spain before they won the World Cup was a favorite, because don't forget half
I
of
go on.
Spain was from Barcelona, right? So
Okay.
I gonna be honest. I would like to claim as a Brazil man. I started this downfall with Spain because they were doing all good until Confederations. Everybody thought we was going dead with our Spain side, but guess what? We beat all they with David Luiz in the back. I will always hold that with all you.
Yeah, and Germany wasn't having that.
Yep. And imagine we do numbers with Spain with Fred in front of goal.
How many Freds did Brazil have in their team? Because it's like they had two Danielsons, they had two Freds.
And they had one Joe. And I feel Joe come in because of corruption, because I don't know how he gets selected over men like William. I don't know how Coutinho didn't see the World Cup in 2014. Like, these elections were crazy. I don't know.
Carlos Alberto was that man.
Politics, brother.
No,
Politics.
it's Scolari that you said, man.
Wait, all right, yeah, Scolari, yes, right.
Scolari took that side.
now you mentioned Joe. You mentioned Joe,
2006,
right? When you mentioned Joe, that came under a topic of some of the most random transfers, and Joe to Man City, right?
Yep. Very.
I watching like, who is this guy? Nobody ever heard of Joe before this move.
I think the funniest transfer
Alvaro Negredo to Man City and Wilfred Bonny to Man City. I'm like, where these guys are now?
Negredo to Man City was a madness because he was
Wilfred Bonny went to Stoke after he left Man City.
And David Moyes to Real Sociedad and Gary Neville to Valencia. You're like, what the hell?
For me,
There's
I find it
random transfers that you just look back and be like, nah.
And you know what's the funny thing is, David Moyes still has a feather in his cap even at Sociedad because he beat Barcelona in a league match.
Yep. The funniest transfer saga is the Odemwingie transfer.
Yeah, boy.
Wow. That man was in the front of the club door, bruh.
Just waited for the transfer, and then it's like not gonna happen. It's like,
bruh.
Talk about awkward, boy. Oh my god.
What are you gonna say about Rafinha, boy?
Nah, Odemwingie
ain't limbo right now.
Nah, Odemwingie was still the funniest because
Barcelona waited on our money so that they can buy Rafinha, because all Barcelona doing is putting in chump change for Rafinha, and Leeds is saying, okay, you're getting closer, but it's not enough. You're getting closer.
Them
They're
selling them
waiting on our money,
Yeah, but here's the messed up thing about this whole thing. You want us to give you 65 million, plus you want another additional money to go and help us pay De Jong's wages. That make any damn sense?
Not to pay wages, to give me back pay.
Well, pretty
that's
much.
What you mean. That's what you mean.
Because remember, they owe the man 17 million in deferred wages.
Imagine
they want that up front.
Before we shut it down, it would be remiss of me if we don't talk about Erling Haaland. I'm sure you all would have seen
the interview
when he was asked doing some promo stuff for Manchester City, which team in the Premier League he's looking most forward to play against. And he says, I hate to say it, but Manchester United. And I wouldn't lie to you. I didn't know how. The only thing I thought was, please, Eric Ten Hag, please, when we play City, start Scott. Please.
To break his leg.
Hey! I heard somebody share on Twitter for him to end up like his father. I deleted that app and left. Yes.
He thought he father issue.
Somebody wants Scott to go for Roy Keane on Erling Haaland.
No, man. You don't wish these things.
I don't wish
nothing,
I don't wish it. I just say that's what somebody
dreaming to play against Man United. It had to be from my father pointing in the ears.
Exactly.
You understand?
Personally,
Because remember the man vexed with Keane ever since and mind you, people blame Keane for ending Alfie Haaland's career. It wasn't
Blame
Keane's
him.
fault.
He did any career.
It wasn't Keane's fault. He had other injuries that prolonged, and
Well,
it
okay,
just
that one
accelerated
finish
it.
him off. That one finish him
Yeah,
off.
it just accelerated it. Yeah. So
Finish
his
him
career
off.
didn't have long again either.
If
it's not like the
if if a
story. It's
call
not like
if
the
a call
story of
finished
Rocky.
if a call finished whole 4 nails, that kick from Haaland was the first nail. That's all I can say. That's the
Simple as.
first nail.
This song like the storyline. This song like the storyline of Rocky.
Haaland gonna look good enough,
It
but
really sound like the storyline of Apollo though. Let me be real.
All I'm
No,
gonna
but
say is this.
so let me ask
This
you because I see. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, all I want to know is just like, let me just make sure and line up the Lisandro Martinez deal and get it over the line, because the last time he and Haaland faced each other,
He
anybody remember what
wrapped
happened?
up. He
yeah,
wrapped up
yeah.
our
That,
boy.
that busy.
I have
But
to be blunt.
I asked for
Lisandro
no 1-0.
Martinez has shut down Haaland and Darwin Núñez already in the Champions League. So
Exactly.
Yep.
Only more reason why we need to game.
So,
The
correct.
well, they answer the question. I was not gonna ask. If not Scott, who would you like to see start against City? But I guess the answer is Martinez.
Of course.
we got to play
If we
City
game.
in our first 10 games, right? I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. We got to play City, Liverpool, and then we got to play Arsenal like our 12th or 13th game or
I want
something.
to see the Flying Dutchman on the left side, but the
Terrell,
new Flying
yeah, boy.
Dutchman by Malasia, but
Actually show Arsenal what a quick fullback actually is, because they keep rating Tomiyasu,
And
and I'm like,
he knows how to use his speed unlike Tavares.
yeah.
Tavares
You know,
fast,
I
but
will
he
tell you
really
something.
ain't
Eh?
know how to use his speed.
I don't care how fast you are. I don't care how good defensively you are. If your position is more right wing back and your assist numbers are low, you're a failure in my book. I don't care what else about your game. The idea of a proper wing back is to help the attack. Yeah, you're supposed to be able to defend, but you're supposed to help the attack. If you're a wing back and you don't have more than 4 assists for the season or even 5 assists for the season, you are a failure. Right? You know, so I anybody who rating certain players and they just a waste of time. If you're a left back, it's different. But as a wing back, especially a modern wing back, you gotta have assists. If you do have assists, which is why I like Luke Shaw, but I just can't rate Luke because he's not getting enough assists for me. You're not.
So
Not
there's
contributing to
just me. I might not be that harsh, but I'm more of like, if you're part of the final play, let's say you're like the second or third pass before the goal score, I can work with that as well too.
Yes.
Right.
I can live with
If you
that.
have had some impact, like 2 or 3 passes before, and it's not an assist, obviously, I can work with that as well too, right? So
I can live with that. But I
Yeah.
mean, let me be real, Tomiyasu. Arsenal supporters real.
the man talking.
Yeah.
The man calling this guy Tommy.
Tomiyasu is a decent player, you know.
He's decent. That's all he is.
But
He's decent.
exactly.
But the Arsenal fans calling this guy Tommy Cafu. I said, please behave. Please behave.
No man.
Did someone tell you
I
what
think-
the young man did wrong?
I think he's asking about Haaland, what Haaland did wrong. He probably didn't hear the first part when we were
I think
talking
so.
about what Haaland said.
I mean, Alan, for Manchester Derby and your father being like,
No, we understand the history.
yeah.
I mean, let's be real. In a way, he gave Manchester United a compliment because he could have easily said Liverpool. Normally, when you go to a league, like if you go to Real Madrid and they ask who you're looking forward to play, you're obviously going to say Barcelona because that's the next big
That's the
team in
biggest
the league.
rivalry there. Yeah.
That's the biggest rivalry. So for him to be in City and say United instead of Liverpool, to some extent, is a compliment.
Yeah, basically, it might trigger more Liverpool fans than anything else.
But that way the rivalry
Because,
always
you know-
is, you know.
You know, the English media
Yeah,
pushing this City-Liverpool rivalry as a thing.
Bullshit. Biggest rivalry will always be
No.
biggest rivalry will always be Arsenal Manchester United. I don't care what nobody tells me.
No, that's not the biggest rivalry. That's
For me.
the battle of Manchester. Which on a Monday
Really
morning.
not the biggest rival
Nah,
all
would be
year.
blue
Liverpool
or
is always
red.
going to be the biggest rival.
It's
Liverpool's
what-
always going to be the biggest rivalry.
Yeah,
Yeah, Liverpool.
Liverpool is the biggest rival.
Yeah.
Based on the history of titles and
And the knockoff perch thing came
Yeah.
back. So yeah, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Liverpool. So I say that's the biggest rivalry because those two teams, Arsenal and Man United, were the two teams that were competing for the Premier League over time, right? Then Chelsea came in, then Liverpool came in 2 years ago. So
To me,
No, but remember, we were always building up to take over the amount of titles Liverpool had. Because remember, they were
True.
always throwing that in our face. Every time we went to Anfield, they'd be like, "Come back when you won 18." And then when we showed up,
And
we were
when
the same
you-
20
yep.
times.
And on top of it, I don't put Man City as a big rivalry because there's a
Nah.
small team. Them just there.
nah.
Them
just
just
a
there.
derby, as I say,
I've-
for
I've-
Brad.
I've-
I've-
yeah.
every time I've interacted with a City fan on Twitter, I'm like, "Yo, put your Champions Leagues on the table." You've got Pep, you've got billions of dollars in a team, and yet how many do you have? I'll give you a hint. It reminds you. It rhymes with hero.
This season we actually have in the Premier League how much Champions League winners? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
Manchester
United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Nottingham, Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. Anybody
Yeah.
else?
That's it.
5 Champions League winners. It's been a long time since we've had so much Champions League winners in the Premier.
And none of them are City.
or Arsenal.
But
Yep.
that goes without saying. I line to see that Champions League Arsenal lost against Barcelona. They were supposed to win that game.
Let's chat. I would say it like this. You know something weird is going to happen when Sol Campbell scores the opening goal in the Champions League final.
Yeah,
Wait.
you know.
A question though. Question to ask for you. Because it was a big question. As United fans, would you rather win the league everywhere but not the Champions League, but win the Champions League consecutively every year but not a league?
That's a tough one.
No, because I heard it I got it on Twitter and I was telling myself, nah, but the league is the league. But Bayern win the league every year. So it don't really feel like that special.
No. If we were in the position of saying like we still had Sir Alex Ferguson, I don't know, maybe.
I would say to win the Premier League is more challenging than the
Yeah.
Champions League.
Of course, Premier League is more challenging than the Champions League. Yeah, we know that.
I
But-
agree with you all. I agree with you all except one thing.
What's that?
The hands down the Premier League is more challenging. But we have 20 titles, right?
Yeah.
If we could go on a run and get 10 Champions League, I would take that.
10 Champions League.
So you get one closer to Real Madrid. That you're trying to do.
Well, 10 or 11, whatever.
because-
But I will take that because you can't lose that 20, you know. You can't lose that.
I would do the Champions League under one condition: if the
Listen.
Premier League winners are a different team every single year. I
Yeah,
wouldn't do that.
if the Premier
Yeah.
League is
Okay.
competitive,
I would take that.
But
If the Premier
you know-
League if the Premier League winners are different every single year, so I mean, like if Man City win it this year, then
Chelsea.
Leeds, then Leicester. I don't
Yeah.
care.
But
and
yeah,
that's
why-
it.
But yeah, why-
Even first with our Champions League, with our Premier League guys.
Yeah, you know, Champions League. That's the only reason I would take the
Yeah, why
Champions
see
League,
how-
because we only have 3 and we have 20. Right?
But the thing is, the reason I say Champions League, right? Now, winning the league is amazing. I trust and believe.
Oh yeah.
That Alex Ferguson league was different.
Oh, yeah.
But you see when you win that Champions League, you kind of slap the chest on your chest and tell yourself, nobody really
my
can talk to
God.
you.
Oh
Because
my
I am
God.
running a whole continent. A whole continent.
Yeah.
Nah,
You just watching people. You just watching rival fans and be like, I own you.
Exactly.
You.
It's like, you ever see when Thanos collected the last Infinity Stone?
Oh my God. No.
That is what a Champions League win does.
feels like
People just get vexed with Real Madrid fans. I don't vex with Real Madrid, man.
Oh hell no!
They know
Come
what
on,
it
man.
is
Come on.
every year.
They've been to the dance.
Exactly.
The last time they lost that Champions League final was 41 years ago.
That's like when people do. That's like when people get vexed when Michael Jordan and the Bulls was running thing. People was like, them Chicago fans feel the day. Yes, they did. They did.
Alan,
Yeah, duh.
Alan, I see you waiting to Wayne on that comment, and then I have something I want to throw to the fellas.
But I always say by Manchester side, I going on with them dying. You understand? And Champions League to me now is like a roulette. Yeah, that because on your day you could be successful.
Yeah.
There are plenty teams that they expect to reach far and they disappoint you. They naturally disappoint you.
You know what I think for me has made Champions League lost a little bit of luster. There was a time the better teams in Europe used to be in the Champions League final.
True.
Yeah.
Some of those Real Madrid wins,
Yes
they
and no,
really
yeah.
and truly were not the better team.
No.
A matter of fact, they weren't even in the top 4 teams in Europe. Some of them, not all, but some of them. Then when they look at their domestic performances, they were really underperforming, but they were able to lift it up for the Champions League. But so I ain't taking nothing from them because they win it, right? But just saying that, when Bayern Munich won it, you knew that was the most dominant team in Europe.
Yeah.
Hands down. That team, that was it. That's the
From
most
group
dominant
stage
team.
from
That
straight
time,
up.
They had
They
a
were
time
the
we used
teams
to
to beat.
we used to look back at university. We always used to look forward to the round of 16 because we used to tell Real Madrid fans, "Yep, you're exiting, so don't even worry, you're gone." Oh no, we'll go forward. No, round of 16.
No,
gone.
and also too, I think the one problem that is very fault to anybody, but you all realize that we've been having a lot of dud Champions Leagues after 2012. Like
yeah, and this
the
last
last
thing.
the last great Champions League final for me personally was that Chelsea and Bayern Munich. That was a cinematic at best.
Yeah,
The Bayern
2012.
Munich. I mean, the first German Champions League wasn't that bad. That game was actually real good, and that tournament itself was different. But that
Yeah, that
first,
Bayern Munich, Bayern Leverkusen, that game was good.
Spurs
Yeah.
and Liverpool.
Borussia Dortmund, sorry, that game
Sorry,
was
yeah.
But let me be real. We had some duds. The,
plenty duds. Not
the
some.
Liverpool
Plenty.
and Tottenham. I am glad
Plenty.
Liverpool don't win finals because they're paying for the sins for that final.
Dude,
That was
no,
trash.
that final was dreadful. That final was
That was
absolutely
horrible.
dreadful.
Bruh,
And-
that
and
final
to-
was trash, boy.
Yeah,
They were
that,
against
that's why I
them.
say the Champions League seems to have lost the luster because of that. Because the
And-
teams are in the final and the final itself just be underwhelming.
I know,
On top of that,
I know,
everybody-
not to sound biased, right? But I'm not gonna lie. Us versus Chelsea in 07-08 final was a pretty damn good final as well, too. I like that.
Guys, I don't know if anybody covered this while we were on air, but I'm just reading something here from David Ornstein saying that Manchester United are interested in looking at Southampton right back Kyle Walker-Peters.
Oh yeah.
He wouldn't be bad. He wouldn't be bad.
No, he won't be terrible. He's not that
Yeah.
terrible, right?
I like Kyle Walker-Peters. Where's the fella name from Brighton?
Tyrant Lamptey.
Talking about Lamptey.
Lamptey.
Sorry, Lamptey.
I like Tariq Lamptey. I don't think any of them. How old Kyle Walker-Peters is?
I think he's 21.
21
young.
with that.
He's
But
pretty
I
young.
still prefer Denzel Dumfries. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree. I
Get
get
it
it, guys.
internationally proven, but I guess we're
Yeah.
also kind of looking at the homegrown we cannot protect ourselves from it. But we have real academy graduates.
In terms of
basketball,
homegrown, I
so
would bring in Max Arons then.
Yeah,
Max
these
Aaron
guys.
There's a
That's
shout. There's a
To
shout.
me, these guys' ceiling is not up there.
Who?
Lamptey looks good,
Yeah.
but I don't think his ceiling is great. Walker
Well, he
Peters,
gonna get more. He get more games because he switched his allegiance to Ghana, which was smart. because
Facts.
Walker
making
Peters
that
does look good, but I just don't think he have a high ceiling. I'm sorry.
If you have eyes,
So I don't
And he's
really,
kind
I
of
don't really
timid
rate them.
sometimes. He's been
So-
lost sometimes.
The question I wanted to ask Oli is this. I saw a tweet from a LeBron disciple.
Uh,
And the tweet was that when Jordan was around, he prevented a lot of great players from ever winning championships, like Barkley, like Ewing, and a long list, right? A lot of guys who were really good, deserving of winning a championship, wasn't able to win because Jordan was around. And then he said, but look at LeBron. Everybody eating our food with LeBron. And I try to understand how is that a feather in LeBron James cap? That you supposed to be the best player in the world and everybody eating a food on your watch.
That makes no the
One man
context.
don't make a team.
And-
One man don't make a team.
And plus two, let me put in the context of LeBron era to Jordan era. I'm not a basketball fella. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But you had to look at and I'm a big fan of LeBron, but you had to look at LeBron's starting years. The Cavs team really didn't help out that young man, you know. Like the man was kind of cat.
Yeah,
He
but the Bulls pay their dues, you know.
Yeah.
No, the Bulls,
yeah.
the Bulls really
Oh,
did
yeah.
set up Jordan and everybody around Jordan very
They
well.
had to go through
Jordan-
years of
Jordan
getting
had a
getting
lot
owned
of-
by the Pistons and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
got
Jordan
this
had a
so
lot of years in the grind
Mhm.
before
Yeah.
he became the Jordan we all know.
So,
Bulls
so he
was
knows
a
what it's
one-man
been to be
team.
down in the trenches and not being as successful. So
And plus two, let me look at it. I feel Charles Barkley wasn't supposed to win a ring because that man personality, that man current. If he didn't win
I feel it
a
Barkley
ring,
boy.
if Charles
Phoenix
Barkley win a
Suns.
ring.
Phoenix Suns was leading that 3-1 there, and
I feel it for Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, boy. I really feel Patrick Ewing.
Like I say though,
You
Jordan
can't stop.
has to be the most influential athlete of all time though.
Of course.
Influential,
Because
definitely.
no other player outside of him brought the NBA such global attention like he did.
And
Correct.
on top of it, nobody has a signature sneaker in any sports.
I
Yeah,
said,
but
what's your
Jordan,
brand?
the Jordan brand is
his
the highest,
own brand.
is the highest earning sneaker of all time. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not even a sneaker anymore. It's a brand, Jordan.
Brand. It's
And
a
everyone
brand.
Jordan stop playing for basketball now.
The man crossover to have that boots with Neymar all kind of thing at one point. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. That was
Yeah, the man
crazy.
does
stopped
that?
playing football for the longest while. I don't hear anybody talking about, hey boy, I have a classic Magic, I have a classic Bird, I have a classic. You know what? You don't even talk about them saying you walk
Everybody-
outside.
I mean,
Walk outside with a Larry Bird on. Men laugh at you, yes.
I mean, Chad,
Shaq tried
had
it years
your
ago, but
sneakers.
Shaq tried, but it just didn't get any traction.
no boy, them Shaq sneakers was dog vomit. What you mean? Like, who's he buying that? Why did Shaq do that?
nah,
I see these
I actually like the Kyrie Irving shoes though. Other than
He
that,
can't even choose. He can't even choose. Isn't that bad? It's not
yeah,
that.
but other than that, there ain't no other
Well,
sneaker that has been made better
Paul
than
Jordan is a
Jordan.
phenomenon. I'm a whole Jordan here.
Don't let me start this show.
These men
let me
was going
start
through
this.
What's that love for
the
Jordan?
albums.
What's that love?
These men was going through the albums with
Don't let me
Jordan
start this
sneakers.
show.
I'm gonna widen the screen. I'm gonna widen the screen.
Look.
I'm gonna widen the screen.
Activate that whole man there, boy.
We, boy.
Nah, I think by Jordan.
boy.
is nicer
I
than
ain't had Jordan's money right now.
I
Eh?
literally
The whole box
just
next
got
thing,
this
the
here.
whole box.
Wow.
You know, pull that out your box, or?
Yeah, just go out the box.
Like literally, Michael Jordan is the only man to have his own brand.
Yeah, but that
Globally recognized on top of that too. Globally recognized.
Nobody's out here wearing the Tiger Woods.
This is why I'm saying. This is why I'm
As a
saying.
big
Anybody
Tiger Woods fan, right? So
and anybody who that whole argument, who is the best? Even when it comes to the best athlete, there's a reason why Jordan Brand is where it is, and it's not marketing. It's because he was just viewed as the best, not just at basketball. He was just the best.
no,
Period.
I will say this though. If Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl, I could slightly edge Tom Brady over Jordan as the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah,
Slightly though.
yeah.
Like that's only if Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl.
There
Right
might be
now,
a show
it's MJ, and then the others just fall far behind.
yeah,
Not
definitely.
far behind, but they're behind though. So
Longevity. Why is Tom Brady, if he win our next Super Bowl, that crazy? After
Are you
what?
kidding?
actually, I
But
can say
but
this
you know,
right-
it's
I can
the
say
messed
this
up
right-
thing.
Actually, I can say this right now.
Closest.
If Cristiano Ronaldo wins another Ballon d'Or and a Champions League, maybe he could get up there as well too. Maybe.
Well, you don't even need an next Ballon d'Or if Cristiano Ronaldo somehow perform a miracle and make Portugal win a World Cup.
Oh
Huh?
God. Ooh,
Um, He'll be.
That's what-
He would.
That's worth two Ballon d'Ors right there.
He wouldn't cross Jordan, but he will be
Up
up
there.
there. Because to me, right now, the next athlete that is closest to Jordan is not even a male athlete. It's Venus Williams.
Serena.
Ooh, yes.
Serena Williams. Sorry.
Yeah, Serena.
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah,
she is
yeah.
the closest there is right now across the spectrum to Jordan.
Serena
But
need up.
will she win anything else again?
That's
Probably.
another question.
Yeah.
So
And
The stock of women tennis players
in terms
coming
of
up.
let's be real. In terms of tennis is probably the only sport where people actually look forward to the women's aspect of it. Seriously, nobody don't look forward to women's World Cup. Nobody don't look forward to
true.
women's whatever.
I've been watching women's football since Martina Navratilova.
Yep.
Tennis is
You're
one
the
thing
one
where you
person.
watch men and the women.
I kid you not. Most men look forward to two women's sports. That's women's tennis and women's volleyball, beach volleyball. And that's the only sports that
Gee, I
men
wonder
look forward
why.
to.
Gee, I wonder why.
No, wait.
You know the sad thing about that? I just watch women's beach volleyball and I can't tell you the name of any star.
I can't tell you either, boys. I don't care. I don't care who wins.
Shout out Phil Garvey, say my favorite player, the one in the shorts. Which one? Which one, King?
The one with long hair, the blonde. I like that one.
Which one, King? And on top of it too, I think I remember somebody was like, somebody said, but CJ, you think anybody watch women's basketball? It's like, I know going to hold it to your body. Nah, nobody be watching that way. Like,
You believe they got some women?
I mean, that women's basketball never really take off, huh?
But here's the
It's
thing:
not
they
even
got
really
people
taking
out
Off
there-
in the States. That's
they got
about
people
it.
out there that think women's basketball that the women players should be paid as much as the men. I'm like, really? Behave.
They need to watch the idea of the revenue and basically how much attention it brings commercially. Come on, that's not gonna make.
as a brand, and plus, there's not even like a Steph Curry in women's basketball in terms of a brand or somebody who's a brand.
Yeah.
Because I
The
know
closest I think they had to that was probably Lisa Leslie, and that didn't last long.
and the thing is, Lisa Leslie
But she
era
never
women's
played, yeah.
basketball wasn't bad, you know. Her era wasn't even that bad. It was growing well.
The last time I watched women's basketball was Joanna Man. That's the last time.
Oh my
Guys.
god, that wasn't even.
Get canceled.
That movie, man.
You gonna get canceled.
But that's the last time I watched women's
Cancel,
basketball.
bruh.
Right? So,
They about to cancel you, bruh. You know we.
You know,
Hey.
so in terms of
Martin
athletes,
Martin
every
Phillip
time we're
really
athletics,
reminding us, which is true. Athletics is the only other sport, in particular
but the only athletics,
The reasons.
athletics.
I'm gonna be the first to admit this. I had a mad crush on Marion Jones back in the day.
She the pump.
The junkie. All right.
Yeah, before the whole allegations came out. Before all the allegations came out.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
Usain Bolt will probably go down as one of the greatest athletes of all time, right? But like there were faster athletes before Usain Bolt, right? So they weren't much greater athletes before
You know,
Michael
it's
Jordan
interesting.
and Will
It's
Chamberlain
interesting
and
that
what's not, right?
Usain Bolt doesn't. He's in the conversation, but still, he's far behind Jordan, and he could never pass
Yeah.
him now.
Like don't get me wrong,
But maybe
Usain
real,
Bolt,
what else
you-
would Usain Bolt have to do?
exactly, right?
You know what I mean? Because he's done everything there is to do.
And on top of it too, he's the most tested athlete as well.
Yeah.
Who-
Because
in
the
terms
way
of-
he broke a lot of the
Until-
Olympic records, it was kind of questionable. So a lot of people thought he was on steroids.
Until they outlaw dashing, they can't stop Jamaicans.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's true. Like they ain't got much like Michael Phelps and Usain Bolt can do to be up there. Jordan had to play against like what 20 plus teams a season.
Yo,
Usain Bolt had to run
Michael
against-
Phelps didn't do himself any favors, especially with that marijuana situation he had.
True.
He doesn't have nothing to do with himself.
Yeah, but
Usain-
Michael Phelps, people wouldn't call it that, but he was a bit of a freak because when they did his measurements,
Yeah, his wingspan was so long.
Yeah,
when
boy.
his feet, the way his feet would extend was a little more than other people. Now I don't know if it's because of practice, so his body just adjusted to swimming, or if he was just naturally more, more elastic.
Ambidextrous. Yeah.
Yeah, than others.
As swimming, when I went swimming, I used to go swimming. A swimming teacher told me because I was kind of double jointed, so there would be
Yeah,
times
kind of
when
got an advantage. Yeah,
when I did freestyle, like we used to do races and thing in swimming practice as a joke and thing and relay. So even because my dive was trash, I used to be doing the
belly
Rey
flop.
Mysterio,
Used to be
frog
belly
splash
flop.
dive. I used to be doing Eddie Guerrero, the Jesus on the cross dives.
Viva
But
la
yes.
raza!
When I got in the pool and I did the freestyle, I would cover ground quick, normal, and come first. And he was like, "Oh yeah, what's saving you? You see, you're double jointed. I mean, you're double jointed. You don't have to rotate. It take long to rotate your arms as much. So Michael
Yeah,
Phelps.
so Michael Phelps was a bit of a freak in that regard.
Yeah,
And I think that is why Jordan physically was not an abnormal specimen.
No,
No,
When
no,
you
he
look at
wasn't.
LeBron James is freakishly big and
Yeah.
freakishly athletic, just like
Yeah, see,
Zion Williamson. But when you look at Jordan was average. There was nothing special about
Yeah,
Jordan
nothing
physically.
spectacular. Yeah.
But his ability to stay in the air, his ability to jump higher than everybody else.
Nah, Jordan had a wicked clutch game. Sorry, he had a wicked clutch game.
Yeah,
That's a mental thing. That's a mental thing more than anything else.
Yeah.
Let's practice.
it only have a few people that made moves popular, right? We all have the hook from
Dr. J.
Doc-
Or,
no,
or Kareem
Kareem.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and the fade away from Michael Jordan. The fade away from Michael, he made that popular because nobody could. Once he jumped in the air, and he leaned back. There was nobody ever once.
I gotta be honest.
ever
Don't
reached
forget
I gotta
Larry
be honest
Bird.
with
Don't
you.
forget Larry Bird with the clutch 3-pointers.
I mean, Allen Iverson did try to do something with the crossover as well, too, because that was.
I gotta be honest with you.
Nah, that was more
Kobe.
freestyle.
Kobe fade away was real different though.
Yeah, it was.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Nah, boy, let me
Yeah.
see that
Back
last
in the days with
that last championship.
But
Yeah.
the difference between like a Michael Jordan and Kobe then versus the LeBron, right? When it comes to like clutch time, I think LeBron is kind of scared to take that shot, right? When it's clutch time, Kobe will tell you, give me that fucking ball right now. When you pass it, just give it to me. Jordan the exact same way. Do not pass to those other three players. Give that ball to me. You got 10 seconds left. Are you gonna run this game?
And very few times Jordan would miss that.
And with LeBron, it's like, okay, with LeBron is like, yeah, let me pass to him, you pass back to me. Let me pass to him, pass back to me. Nah, Jordan driving at you. He don't give a rat's ass who's in his.
I remember Steve Kerr in an interview once saying, if it comes down to the last shot, and on the rare occasion Jordan passes the ball, you can't miss.
You can't miss.
If he passes the ball,
He ain't
you
passing
have
you
to
again.
score because you know he didn't have to pass it that ball. You understand? You had to score because that was just the pressure on you. You had to score.
Remember in the final against Sun, is Pak Sung who score
Yeah.
the final, you know.
Yep.
You understand that? Put the nail in the coffin when everybody looking for Jordan.
I would tell you one thing. The one thing that make me admire Michael Jordan more than anything else is on his worst night, he could have 9 of 30 shots. Shooting.
Yeah, but the game he had the
Man
flu.
still will score to
The game he had the flu. He didn't score like 50 plus points.
Yeah, he would still.
Yeah.
Even if the shot not working, he'll go to the basket. If he can't go to the basket, he'll get to the foul line. He is giving you 30 points. It's not like LeBron James. LeBron James could hit you a 40-something point game, and in the next 2 games he score less than 10 or not, 15. And not Jordan. Whether the shot falling or it ain't falling, you're getting 30 points. Guaranteed.
Facts.
And that's just it. The ability to deliver. It's amazing that Karl Malone is the mailman.
I see what you did there.
And Jordan is just Jordan.
Karl Malone never get one title.
No, that is his airness.
Lakers.
With the Lakers,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's-
yeah.
Jordan is his airness. Just remember that. Eh?
Believe it or not, boy. Even though Jordan's the greatest, he's still not my favorite athlete of all time, right? It's between Usain and Tiger Woods, right? So
No, that's a personal preference.
that's personal, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But from the time, like, I will always share this story with people. When Usain Bolt was running in Barbados at the stadium, right? Usain Bolt was in lane 8 in 200 meters, and the other 7 lanes were Americans, right? And it was me in the stands, and there were about 15 other Americans in the stand. Oh, we get in 1, 2, 3. We get in 1, 2, 3. I ain't gonna tell you who come first. And he was 17 years old at the time. 17 years old. I ain't gonna tell you who come first.
And that's the next thing with Bolt too, because he wasn't muscular as most of the short distance runners. It just made him look even more.
It looks effortless.
I don't care what you say. Usain Bolt a legend. The mere fact that Vibes Carter used you in a diss track and it went viral. Yeah, legend to me, but I mean, care. Me.
You
No,
run like
Martin, we
you
know,
run
we
like
know
Yeah,
Malone
Martin,
Malone
we
was,
knew he was with the
doing.
Utah Jazz, but he won the ring with the Lakers. Him and I
yeah,
think
the
Gary
one,
Payton as well
one
too.
ring, the
But-
one ring that he won was with the Lakers. When he was with the Jazz, Jordan was keeping him out.
Yeah.
Yo, next
He
next
was
show.
not playing in finals.
For all the clutch plays that John Stockton used to help and try to pull them out of that. They just
I
couldn't overcome
feel
Jordan.
I
That
feel
was the
so
pick
bad
and
for
roll.
John Stockton. And he probably was one of the best passers in NBA history.
One
I
of the best
swear,
3-point shooters
boy.
as well too.
John Stockton was better than
Nash too.
Steve
Don't
Nash.
forget Nash.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something.
He was
Stockton
at
and Malone.
I call Steve Nash the pearl of basketball, boy.
The way
Nah,
people
Stockton
play
was on a different
basketball
level,
now,
my G. Stockton was on a different level.
the way people play basketball now with the pick and roll, John Stockton and Malone
Yeah.
was responsible for that.
Exactly.
Them guys was elite.
Them create that.
At a time when nobody else was doing that, they were doing that.
They copyright that.
Carlton say Bolt ahead of Jordan. I mean, that's a preference, right? But in terms of like
Carlton.
of all time, I gotta give it to Jordan. There's no better athlete who was more influential, right? I think for the next show, we gotta go through athletes that have never won the big title, like your
Top
Zlatan,
athletes.
Ronaldo, Dan Marino. Those guys have never won a Super Bowl, have never won a World Cup or a Champions League.
It's like in wrestling like we had real good wrestlers who just never win, like Mr. Perfect. He was supposed to be WWE champion.
Scott Hall.
Yeah, Scott Hall was supposed to be WWE champion. Like, bruh, it had a this fella too.
That consider that competition.
Very good question, Alan. Very good
I
question.
can't understand that. That is entertainment.
I find it
There's still a championship to be won though.
You got
Nah,
follow
man,
if you
them
know
things
if you
are
know
rated,
start following wrestling, you ain't gonna like it. But if you follow
Yeah,
wrestling,
like
from
you gotta
man.
be there to understand how it is.
Yeah,
bro.
you got
From
follow
Nah,
the years of the
wrestling.
Hulk Hogan's and the
Nah,
Ric
like I
Flairs
said,
and the Stone Cold
wrestling,
Steve
man.
Austin.
Don't give me that,
Unpopular opinion. I just go and say for wrestling fans, Ultimate Warrior was
Don't need the
overrated.
American
as
life
shit,
feelers,
bro.
but you follow
That's
that.
actually true though.
No,
Nah,
actually,
Ultimate Warrior
something.
overrated, Dan.
You got follow
Professional
wrestling.
wrestlers are very good athletes.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah, we know that.
very good athletes.
They're
More
super
the
fit.
good
To
ones.
take the kind
Very
of
good.
beatings that they take, yeah, they have to be.
Even back in the day, Uncle Victor Javica and these guys, TNT
LA.
and them, these were excellent athletes. However, because modern wrestling has this element of more showmanship to it kind of takes away. But though these fellas are athletic, and they can't take away the fact that they're very well skilled. They're very proper athletes. Anyway, gentlemen, it's around that time for us to go. My cup is empty, but that's okay. I fill it a few times and then empty again.
Stop empty now,
But I
boy.
pull in my face right now.
We see that. All of us here at the United Hour. Red Devils don't die. We multiply.
Chad, before you close this off, I'm just gonna say, people make better decisions. Don't be like Nick Kyrgios. Don't
He
do
wore
this.
He wore Jordans, right? Oh no, he wore the Spurs kit.
Yeah.
Don't make better choices. Yes, Jeremy Carrera, I'm talking to you.
You also ran.
And Tuesday, Manchester United play Liverpool 9 a.m. in the morning, and Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. we will be doing a breakdown of that show. So our next show is going to be on. Well, we're supposed to have 2 shows on Tuesday because you're also supposed to have Transfer Tuesday with Big Phil. So that would probably be around midday, and then we have the breakdown as we're going to be revisiting all the activities that would have taken place Manchester United versus Liverpool. Red Devils don't die, we multiply.
Hey, ring the alarm. Hey, whoa. Ring the alarm. Another sound is dying.